Hello explorers and welcome to another video. We're gonna talk today about JMeter. And if you have in your organization ever thought, well, we have this system and I wonder if it's actually prepared to run against 1,000 users, or if it has the capacity to actually take on these many sessions and so on. If you have problems with performance, or if you are wondering how much load can this site take, and you want to do some measuring and actually try to figure out how much you can send to the site, and if you need to actually upgrade your systems, or if you need to do changes, or if some system call in your operations are too heavy and might be needed to be re-engineered in order to get a better performance. This is a really good tool to actually answer a lot of those questions. So this tool looks like this, and you start off with a test plan. And this is something that you can save to disk and work with. And when you want to use it for performance testing, you will create a thread group. And this is a group where you can actually test with an amount of users with a ramp up. So you will give it a little bit of time to actually get going, and a loop count. So how many times will this amount of users be visiting this site? And it will do it in a meter sense, so it actually will give you a load that is appropriate to that amount of traffic. So next up, we need to create something that can handle or can actually do the measuring. And first off, before we even do that, we will add some things, because I would go to a website that actually requires some things. First off, you can actually add specific header variables. So this is a header manager, and here you can set specific headers in order to log into site. And you can also read specific headers or read specific data from a site and reuse that in the next call. That's a little bit of an advanced topic, and I will not go into that in this video. If you're interested in that, then please leave a comment and I will talk about that in another video. So another thing that you need to add is perhaps a cookie manager. And if you have a cookie manager, it will not only set the cookies that you decide here, so you can actually add cookies here, but you don't need to add cookies because this actually gives the functionality to save cookies and hold cookies for your actual call. And there is an option here, clear cookies between each iteration, and that is something that you want to check in order to get the right amount of testing. Next up, we have a configuration element that is called request defaults. And in this, you can put in things that is specific to this request. And I will test a service on my local host and port number 3000. So I put that in as my defaults. And remember, when you're doing performance testing, only do that on sites that you have permission to do performance testing on. If you are doing it on sites where you don't have permission, that might be even as be concerned as a DDoS attack and could actually be a felony in some countries. So don't do this if you don't have the actual permission of running these tests. This is to actually test your system and get feedback back. Next up, we need to add a sampler. So I will add an HTTP request. And in this case, I need to look a little bit at the site. So if we jump over to my little site here, I will test this Getia that I talked about in an earlier video. And what I want to test here is logging in and going to a specific page, and that will actually be using these kind of cookies. So if we go to the login page here, I actually need to visit user/login. So this is the login page, and I could perhaps go and log in here, and I have a very simple password. And if we are looking in this pane here in Chrome, you can actually record and check this preserve log. Then you will see all the different things that goes on when you're logging in. So if I press log in here, I can see that the first call that was made here was a post call, and it actually sent the password Daniel and test123. So those are the form data that are sent. But we also see that it actually sent something before this, which is a cookie value that will will ensure that you are not doing request forgery. So this is an CSRF token that you will need to set in order to counter those kind of forgeries, and we need to actually have that in order to log in. And we get that on the first call to this login page. So in my little script here, I need to first off have one user log in, and this will give me that first cookie. So I can say that this is visit the login page. So I give it that name. And then if I duplicate this, so this is the next time, then do the login. And in this case, I need to post from that page or post to the same value. And here I need to add my actual user info. So I can actually copy paste these, add from clipboard, but you see here that it didn't do a great job of actually putting the value in the value field and the name. But if you have equals in your statement, it will actually handle that as well. So you have some good help to actually fill out in these kind of values. And if we go back to the site again, after I've done this, I want to go to issues. So this issue page. So we can copy that as well, go back here, and we will add a new sampler. And this is the issue page, and I will give it the same name. Go back to the site, and I want to go into this created issue and actually watch that issue, because that is something that I can't do if I don't have access. So that's one thing that I want to test later on. So I will go to that visit page, and now I have created all the different commands that I want to run. Then the last thing I will add here, in order to get some report back, I will add a summary report. And this will show me how much errors I had and how much successes I had. And I can also type in a file name here where I get a log file with all the calls that are made to the server, and I can say that I only want the errors shown. But if I click it here, I will only see that in the statistics as well. So I don't do this in this case, because we want to run this and see that all my calls went through. And we see here that I got a lot of errors. So why did I get some errors? Let's look here. It's port localhost 3000, and oh, I put these in the wrong place. Let's move them down to path instead. That's on path and that's on path. Let's try it again and see if I clear up here and then run it again. Now we see that we don't get any errors. But if I go here and actually disable this do login and run it again and look at the summary, you see that I can't visit this last page here because I'm not logged in. So that's the way that you can actually get cookies, set them so you can go and do a login and actually test this. So let's go back to this thread group now that we have tested and seen that we actually have something that can test load. Because this is a local service, I won't give it too much load, but let's say that I say 20 users and I wanted to loop 10 times. And if I run this and go back to the summary report here, you see that you actually get a lot of visits here. I'll get a lot of logins, and it goes through, and I see the error rate here, and I actually got some errors here, just a few, and I might be that I didn't reset this, so that's the only error that I got on my one login showing there. But now I have run through all of these, and I see that this local service can actually take that load, and it doesn't report any new errors. So this was what I wanted to show off today, how to set up these different managers and what the uses of those are, how to create a test plan with some samplers, and also how to look at the summary report in order to do some performance testing on your site. I hope that you found this video interesting. I hope that you learned something today. I hope that you have another tool in your toolbox that you can take and use when you need to do performance testing. If you have any questions about JMeter, or if you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and I really hope to see you in the next video.